Hello everyone, welcome back to Let It Cook cooking channel. Today a shout out to the Swiss. We're making my version of Bircher Muesli in a jar. For this we need cinnamon, a bit of maple syrup, and here we have various nuts. I have walnuts here. There are also some almonds, roasted pumpkin seeds, pistachios and almond flakes, shredded coconut, those are raisins, yogurt, milk, quick oats, a bit of lemon juice, and a pear and an apple. First we chop the nuts. By the way, you don't have to do it my way. You can use whatever nuts you want or whatever you have in the fridge. Well, some people keep them in the fridge. Just use whatever nuts you have at home. This is just what I had in the cupboard and it works well for me. The only thing that's really different from regular overnight Bircher Muesli is the coconut flakes. I don't think they're usually in it, but I really like them because they add a nice flavor. What's important about overnight Bircher Muesli? The most important thing is that it can soak overnight, right? Unfortunately, you have to do that the day before. You can't do it on the same day because that's what makes it easy to digest and also really filling. You might have noticed that I've gotten a bit of a beer belly during the European Championship, right? It might have something to do with all the beer I've been drinking. So right now I'm trying to skip a meal and I like to make myself a jar of overnight Bircher Muesli, which I have in the morning or around 10 or 11, and it keeps me full for quite a while. You can just skip a meal sometimes. It's pretty filling, I would say. That's why I think this muesli is a good idea. Pumpkin seeds aren't classic, of course, but I still had some left over from another recipe. And you know me, nothing goes to waste, everything gets used. Also, pumpkin seeds taste great. So why not in a Bircher Muesli? Chop those up roughly as well. I also really like it when you come across a little chunk in there. Yeah, so you can leave it a bit coarser. It's okay if you see a whole nut in there sometimes. It doesn't all have to be pulverized, yeah. Let's add that to the nuts as well. You don't have to sweeten it either. I'm going to sweeten it now with just a little bit of maple syrup, just a hint of sweetness. I like that. I'm adding a little cinnamon, not too much, or it'll taste too much like Christmas for me. Then the fine rolled oats. Don't use the coarse ones. They don't work well for jar Bircher Muesli. Please be careful. Put the shredded coconut in here. Then I'll quickly drain the raisins. Okay. I've already soaked them overnight. You can also add dates in there now, by the way. By the way, one of the few things I really can't stand is dates. That's why I'm not adding any. I find dates absolutely terrible. I really eat almost everything, but I don't like dates and I'm not a big fan of anise either. Those are my two weak spots, you could say. Now I'm adding the yogurt. I just bought some plain yogurt for that. I can just stir in the milk as well. I have 1.5% milk here. Of course, that's also to lower the fat content a bit. So, if you're not making this Bircher Muesli to lose weight, you can also use a full-fat yogurt. A nice Greek yogurt and whole milk, yeah. Then add the maple syrup right away. And now we stir the whole thing. It should actually look a bit too runny, yeah? So just like it looks here now, that's right. Because we're going to let it sit overnight, and then it has the chance to draw that liquid out of the mixture. And then it gets this great consistency and also how filling the whole thing is, yeah. And now you just take a grater. I've washed the apple and pear very well, yeah, because I want to leave the peel on. It also adds a bit of color, yeah. And now you just grate the apple and pear here on a grater. You can also cut them into small cubes, whichever you prefer. But the classic way is to grate it here on the grater. For a while, I also had a customer in Switzerland. I had a restaurant in Zurich as a client. Or a hotel. Every morning I had Bircher Muesli there, always served with grated apple. That's why it must be correct, yes? And now the pear. Okay, add that here as well. Now you add a bit of lemon juice on top, just a little, so the fruit doesn't turn brown right away. Of course, I got a few seeds in there. Let's quickly take those out. Now stir it in nicely. Okay. Cover it with plastic wrap or the lid, then refrigerate it. I'll show you how it looks tomorrow morning. Good morning. The Bircher Muesli has now sat overnight. Now I'll show it to you. Take a look. It's pretty firm now. It depends a bit on your taste, you know. For my taste, it's a bit too firm now. That's why I'm adding a good splash of milk. Because I prefer it when the Bircher Muesli is a bit creamier, yeah, and not quite so hard, so to speak. So once again, just so that it becomes a bit more pleasant to eat, I'd say, yeah. And when it looks like this, I'll even leave the bottom part in for a bit longer. I'll stir that up tomorrow. That's for the next few days. I'll go ahead and prepare 2 bowls now. Linus is hungry enough for both of us. It's a good breakfast because it keeps you full and tastes great. The annoying part is you have to make it a day ahead for it to work well. Otherwise, it's just not good. Let it soak well. You can add a bit of honey on top, yeah. Just for a little sweetness. I added a little syrup, but not much. That's why we can add a little bit of honey. Okay. Then I have a few walnuts here. I'm doing this mostly for looks. There's already so much nut in there. But as I said, you can put in whatever you want. I still have a peach and a bit of apple here. From another video, I love peaches. So a few nuts on top. Then I'll cut up another peach. Always the prettier one for the photo. Okay, now a little bit of apple. Also more or less just for decoration, yeah. The bell is ringing outside. Just a quick reminder, click the bell below so you won't miss any more videos from us. You'll always get a notification. Now I'm adding a bit of yogurt on top here. That's also more or less just for decoration, for decorative reasons, yeah. A bit of peach on top. A few fresh apples. And if that doesn't look excellent, well, that's a breakfast for champions. Or what do you think? Leave a comment. So now the rest of the nuts on top. Of course, I'll use the rest as well. I just need to take a nice photo first. A sprig of mint on top. I've taken the photos for the thumbnail. That's why I'm quickly putting the rest on top now. Then it won't look quite as nice, but we won't waste anything. You already know how it is. I want to eat those sprigs too. Sprigs do look nice, but for eating it's definitely much finer without them. If we cut it up a little smaller, we can put that on top too. Everything used, just scrape out the yogurt. Okay. Then there's only one thing left. Let's dig into our breakfast. I'll give it another quick try for you guys. Nothing beats it. It's one of my favorite breakfast dishes. We'll dig in and keep filming videos for you all day today. See you next week, my dears. Keep supporting the Let It Cook cooking channel and spread the word. See you soon. Take care. Bye. See you.